Hello, I am Yogini Sunita, and this is Meditation, Yoga, and Stuff podcast. I believe my dharma or my life's purpose is to share my understanding of meditation, yoga, and Ayurveda, holistic healing science of India. I make these amazing wisdoms accessible and adaptable for present times. So let's start. Thank you for joining me today in this podcast. I really appreciate you being here. Today, I'm going to talk about the stuff. So what does that mean is, if you notice, the name of the podcast is Meditation, Yoga, and Stuff with Sunita. So what is this stuff I'm talking about? What is this stuff all about? So this is the stuff which basically we go through into our day-to-day life. Things happen around us and we go through all these experiences of life. And this stuff is really, it can be very emotionally, mentally, and physically affects us, right? So some things are in our hands in our life, but most of the things are not in our hands. For example, what happens in the country's politics or world politics, what's happened in economy, things like pandemic, things like natural disasters, all these are not in our life, in our hands. Also things like, diseases and things like that, it's also not in our hands. I'll give you an example. Last year in November, a mosquito bite put me into such a virus called, in the state of virus, which is called Ross River. Now, this virus is very debilitating. I was unable to move for many months. Physically, it is very painful virus. Initially, it took some time to understand what the virus was. And then also it affected my whole system. Now, when we came to know that this is the virus, and we were in pandemic at that time. So the whole situation was emotionally, mentally, physically quite debilitating. Physically, I wasn't even able to move my fingers at one point. I was completely bedridden. And it happened so suddenly. So I was teacher training on that weekend, and the full day I was teaching. I came home and I had some fever, and then this was the result of that. And this made me think my priorities in my life. And it really made me think that, why this is, what is the reason for this happening. Now, there is always in yoga philosophy and Ayurveda philosophy, it is believed that the stuff happened around us have reasons. And so physically not able to move. And also I couldn't watch or read anything because my eyes were also affected. So basically I was in state of vegetable for many months. I am actually just now slowly coming out of it, but the progress is very slow. So I'm still suffering a lot with that effect of that particular virus. Now, when I was in the state of almost like a vegetable, I started noticing, first it was panic, but then I started noticing that, okay, this is reality. This is what I'm going through. What is the reason for this? And what is the lesson I'm learning here? And the lesson was to basically, come back towards my dharma. My dharma is to share wisdom of yoga, Ayurveda, meditation. And I was doing it, but I was doing it at the same time doing too much. So I started realizing that, and I started slowing down, almost like smelling the roses. And when that realization stuck, and also acceptance of what I'm going through was very challenging, because not able to move was too much. for my system to understand, And I used to teach 8 to 9 classes throughout the week, and also do the teacher training. So on the weekends, the full day teacher trainings. And so all this is for me, I realized that, that how this is almost like my system has received this as a blessing. Even though I was in too much pain, I truly think that there was a reason, and the reason was to calm my system down, find maybe a way to bring in peace and calm, and also become aware of, not doing too much. So I started noticing that, I started taking precautions around that. And this really, really helped me to start becoming very clear about the boundaries. And also I started taking or reducing the work if needed. And this, I'm sure that this is what I learned through this is also that so much pain, where sometimes when we take our body for granted, but this is the reality for a lot of people who are going through pain. So it gives, once again, made me humble and made me realize the vulnerability and the suffering around me. And I'm taking this as a positive experience, and I'm taking this as a beautiful lesson to share my understanding of yoga and meditation and Ayurveda from this point of view. When I was in the almost state of vegetable, when I was in state of absolutely pain-ridden body, what helped me was tuning into the breath. So sitting for meditation was absolutely impossible for many days. I couldn't sit on floor, so I needed to adapt to sitting on chair. Sometimes sitting up was impossible. So on those days, I did my meditation lying down. Now, traditionally, we say that the meditation should be done sitting up. But in that pain and suffering, it was okay to lie down. And when I understood all these things, I think I can explain this better to the world. So I think that this, even though this stuff was very painful, it has given me opportunity to understand my dharma, or my life's purpose, which is sharing wisdom of yoga, Ayurveda, and meditation with the world. And from that place now, I am very grateful and thankful to the universe for this opportunity to understand the pain. It also helped me to realize what is important to me. I have taken some positive decisions now, which I was procrastinating about. So it made me to help make these decisions, and I am working on that. So that is another positive thing. It helped me realize that, it's okay to ask for help. A lot of time we find it very difficult to ask help. We will give help to others, but asking help is very vulnerable. And from this state, and I'll tell you what, so many amazing friends stepped up. One of my friend, John, he came and did my lawn without me asking. I mean, I'm so grateful to him. My friend Nicola, used to call me and check on me. All these things, like my friend Jackie, so many amazing people, really, really looked after me. And that really helped. That kind of like generous and conscious awareness towards that, being grateful for the people in my life. So I started my gratitude practices with gusto. I started tuning into what helps me to really tune into my gratitude, and my also understand that what gift well-being has. And I also understand that how to now work with letting go of the stress, what happens, what practices we can do when we are physically not feeling well. So from this place, I think I understand, and I can help much better to from this place of going through the suffering. So if we look at our experiences of suffering, I think they are a gift in disguise. And so when we look back to these sufferings, they are really, really blessings in disguise. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you here. I appreciate all my listeners. So many of you sent me emails or connected me through the Facebook and mentioned that this podcast is really making positive effect on your life. I am so grateful for all of you, all my listeners. I really appreciate you. And if you have any questions or if you want mentoring sessions, please feel free to connect with me via my website, or there are Facebook links or things like that. You can connect with me and I'll try and see if I can help you in any way possible. Thank you so much for listening today. If you like what I'm offering, please support me. There is a link in the notes. Thank you so much for you being here today. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate that you're taking this time out of your day. Don't forget to subscribe. Take care. Bye for now.